Hi, my name's Daryl, and this is my beautiful 2020 Bikini Pearl Wrangler that's behind me. Now, I've been doing a lot of content on my Jeep Wrangler, and I've been focusing a lot on soft tops and bikini tops on Wranglers because I'm kind of searching for the perfect bikini top. I kind of want something that protects me from both the wind and the sun, but still gives me that open air experience, which is kind of difficult. I tried the Alien Sunshade and I got just a little bit too much wind and wind noise that was coming into the cabin. So I tried this one, and I've got to say, this is the Mopar Sun Bonnet, and this has a couple of really unique features in the Mopar Sun Bonnet. So let me show it to you. This is how it looks like, and the interesting thing about the Sun Bonnet is it kind of wraps over the top of the speakers, but you can see that it's a relatively tight fit. I wouldn't say it's quite as tight of a fit as the Alien Sunshade, but it is pretty close. Now, some of the unique features about this sunshade is it has a zipper. So there's a zipper over there, which is basically how you unzip the sunshade and you can remove it. And it has this header piece that fits underneath the windshield, and it really secures it to the front of the windshield, and it provides a really nice full coverage of the sunshade. So one of the things that makes this a lot different than any other sunshade is the fact that the mesh material goes all the way to the sports bar. Now, the other thing that makes this really unique is you have the mesh material, and then you also have this vinyl material right here. So you commonly see sunshades that are full vinyl, and you see sunshades that are mesh that have bungees. You know, a lot of times they connect. Usually the mesh sunscreens have bungees that connect underneath the roll bars. So I had the Alien Sunshade, and there's also a spiderweb shade that does the same thing. But the problem is you have this pretty large gap basically from the end of the sunshade to the sports bar where it starts. And so you've got lots of wind kind of coming in at this point. And you still also have wind coming up between the sports bar and the door. So that makes this actually pretty unique. Now, the other thing that this does is instead of actually having straps or bungees, it has these buttons. So basically what you do is these buttons detach, and you can see how nice and tight that fits over the sports bar. So it looks really nice and neat. But basically there's these T20 screws that you remove from the sports bar, and then you replace it with this button screw. And then this basically just buttons to that button screw that you put in place. And there you go. So yeah, this is really a unique sunshade, and when I saw it online, you know, I really just had to try it. And I gotta say, the install was a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Installing that header piece was a little more difficult. Taking out the T20 screws wasn't too bad, but actually installing the button screws was a little more difficult than I thought. But I don't have probably the proper tools. If you've got better tools than I do, it would probably be not so difficult for you. The other thing that was difficult is this is pretty tight. And so to get this material stretched and to actually button it was more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But now that it's stretched out, to remove it and to reinstall it, I don't think is going to really be difficult at all. So this is primarily the review video. I've got a separate video where I did the installation, and so, you know, depending on whether or not you like the product, if you do think it might fit your needs, before you buy it though, you probably want to check out the installation video just to real quickly cover it. It took me probably about an hour and a half to actually do the install. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't quite as easy, I think, as the Alien Sunshade was to install. But I think it's a better product. I think it's the most unique sunshade out there, and I think it's probably one of the best ones as well. So let's go ahead and take a ride, and we can see how it performs. All right, so we're off in the Jeep now, and I do have the sunshade on from the Mopar. It's a Sun Bonnet. And one of the bad things about this product compared to some of the other sunshades is you do have to remove the product in order for you to install your soft top or your hard top. And so I don't think uninstalling is really going to be that difficult, because basically you just have to unzip it from the header and then basically just unbutton it, and then you're done. So for sure, taking it off isn't going to be problematic. If you do watch the install video, actually buttoning the soft top, the Sun Bonnet, was a little bit difficult, but I think it was basically because the material, you know, it hadn't stretched already. But, you know, it might take a little bit of time, depending, you know, on how often you remove it and take it off again. So that's the one bad thing. I did purchase mine off of Amazon. Now, you can actually purchase this accessory when you buy your Jeep. You can purchase it from your dealer. You can purchase it from the Mopar store, like an online Mopar store. I got mine on Amazon, like I said, basically because the ease of shipping and the ease of return. You know, I've been trying a lot of different sunshades, and I just want the perfect one. And so, yeah, I just like the freedom of being able to return things off of Amazon. This does a really good job. I'm going about 35 miles an hour right now, and you can tell, you know, it does a great job of protecting you from, you know, the noise of the wind and also the sun. And so I don't actually need my my sunglasses on at all, because it does such a nice job of protecting. But the one thing I did notice is at higher speeds, the wind does tend to come in. And I'm kind of sensitive to the wind. My eyes, I have dry eyes, and yeah, and I don't know what it is about the Jeeps, but the Jeep convertibles, the wind it tends to go backwards and kind of hits you on the ears, kind of sideways. And so I'm still trying to figure that out, and this doesn't quite protect you from that. But right now, this is not a windy day at all. But I'm going 45 miles an hour, super comfortable. I mean, I could drive like this basically all day. But as soon as you get on the freeway, you know, that might change a little bit. Now, I don't have any sort of flapping at all, basically here in the front. So it's flap free. Towards the rear, you do start getting a little bit more flapping. So kind of near the rear where it connects to the back, it's a little bit loose. So it probably could have been a little bit tighter right there. But I'm going 50 miles an hour right now. It's still perfect. Really love it at this speed. But I'm gonna go ahead and get on the freeway, and then you can check it out then. All right, so I am merging onto the freeway now. And so this is where it kind of starts to break down just a little bit. So I'm going like 68 miles an hour. You can still probably hear me pretty well. You know, it seems like the sweet spot is like right around 60 or 65. As soon as you get up into the higher speeds, around 75, that's when it starts to get a little bit difficult. You can see my my hair. It's still not flapping around too much, but I'm definitely feeling it like on my ears. And right now, I still don't have any sort of flapping in the back, so that's really good. This is a pretty unwindy day though, so if there was like a crosswind or some other wind and you were going into that wind would be exaggerated a little bit, and so you would hear that a little bit more. But I mean, you know, this is pretty darn good job. So I did test another sunshade. It was the Alien Sunshade, and this is definitely an improvement over that. Now, the Alien Sunshade was like $100, And this one is about 180. I think you could probably get it like from some Mopar stores for about 160 or so. But I would say this is definitely an improvement over that. So I'm going a different direction on the freeway, so I basically just did a loop. And I think there's going to be a little bit more wind going this direction than there was the other one. So I am feeling a little more wind kind of hitting me on both sides. The hair is getting a little more messed up, which is a good indication on how well or not well it's protecting me from the wind. But once again, I mean, this is a Wrangler. You know, this is about the open air experience, and that's, you know, kind of what I'm getting here. But this is definitely going to protect you more from just being totally open. I am wondering about, they make both a mesh product, which is what I have, and they also make a product that is all vinyl. So I'm wondering if I got the all vinyl product, if that would actually do a better job of protecting me from the wind. I think it would, but then I wouldn't get the open experience. You know, I could just use my freedom panels, which is what I've done in the past, basically to protect me from the sun and also protect me from the wind, and then I don't have that open experience. But I think this is probably the best product on the market. If you're looking for that kind of mesh feeling that above you, I don't think you're going to find a product that's going to protect you from the wind the way this one does, and kind of let that open air in. Now, if you did get a product that was total vinyl, you know, one of the things that you could consider is getting, you know, a convertible top, like a slant back top, or what do they call the fastback top, where you could take the windows out and have that provide full coverage over the top. And it's also going to have the surrounds, the door surrounds. So that's going to do a really good job of protecting you from the elements. It's going to be a really nice environment while still having the back open. So that might be an option. One of the other things I'm thinking about is, you know, they have those kind of clear lids, those clear freedom panels, that is basically a replacement for the freedom panel, but it totally covers you. It'll protect you from the sun because it's shaded, so it provides UV protection. And so that might be another thing I might want to consider. But yeah, there's a lot of choices out there, and I just, you know, I keep trying to find something that's going to be perfect for me. And everybody's going to be a little different. What might work really well for me might not work for somebody else. So anyway, we're on a stoplight, so that's why it's totally quiet and there's no wind coming in. Oh, here we go. So if you enjoyed this video, just watching my hair flop around a little bit, watch me try to yell over the wind noise, yeah, give it a like. Also consider subscribing to my channel. You know, I'm going to be testing a lot of products. I'm a brand new Wrangler owner, so I'm trying to find, you know, the kind of the perfect thing for me. And maybe you're kind of like me and it'll be the perfect thing for you as well. I do a whole lot of Wrangler content, and it's really focused on beginners, because I am a beginner. I'm a brand new Wrangler owner. So yeah, check the channel out, and I hope to see you on the next video again very soon.